His work ethic is brilliant. Then he will send it out! Raise the roof! Henry flexes on him.
Get around here. Give him the fist pump. He pumps that fist. This will be a 7. You called it early. They have written him. Johnson just stayed at home. Had his hand on the ball. Drive. Puts the shot up. How does he get that in? The shot. 3 seconds. Molly Kendrick turn away jumper. That is who you want to get the ball there.
Yep. And that is your Kodak moment.
There he goes.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. My name is Dave Webb. I am joined by Benito Carboni. We had to sit down after the girls' game. That was incredible all the way through, but we are getting ready for the men's game. We expected it to be, so Sturt went into the ladies' game as favourites. We expect it to be a role reversal for the men's game?
Well, we hope so, certainly. We've got two teams coming together. The first place, Norwood, they're kind of rolling along, 9-1 this year. And unfortunately, Sturt haven't been able to register a win so far. And for them, tonight, at home, against the top team, you've got nothing to lose. You've got players who can put up points. You've got a good guard in CJ Rivers. If I'm Sturt, I'm looking at this match and I just want to take it on.
The guy on screen, sorry, I don't know faces yet. Who's that? He's not dressed to start yet, this guy.
I couldn't tell you his name.
I tell you what, I've watched the warm-up. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like watching the streams, you don't get to see much Premier League basketball. Come down and watch these warm-ups. It's great. It's like this little dunk contest.
Yeah.
This guy, like looks like he's barely 6 foot.
Barely 6 foot, for sure.
6'1", 6'2", maybe. He's getting up there.
Yeah, it's impressive. He almost looks like the actor from 16 Candles. But he's putting it up. Like, that's the most impressive thing about basketball. Just the way players can rise. It's unlike any other sport, and that's one of the beauties of it. But we've got a great match tonight. Norwood, with the addition of Brian Moultrie, BMO, they've got a squad that is just about the best in the competition alongside teams like Forestville and Mount Gambier. You've got the Weber brothers, you've got Brandon Bryant, who's come from Southern and just blown up. James Legan as well, come from West. They're just recruiting players left and right from the league. They've got a 2015 Wallacott medalist in Matt Lysett just sitting there as well. That is an all-star lineup in itself, and Sturt are going to have their hands full containing it. But as we said, not long now till we get underway. And there's a few players to look out for in Sturt's side too. You've got Nick DeSantis, who got player of the round in round 4. He had 30 points that night. You've got players who can put up points. Dylan Rawson had 30 on Anzac Day in a tough loss to South. You had Daniel Nash put up 21 against West in round 4 as well. Big Rigby, I'm not going to say his last name just yet, but he put up 21 in the reserves today. They've got
right,
players going.
Yeah, I've literally just written that down on my notes, and I'm working through it in my head. Aktanarowicz?
It's hard to say. His nickname is Big Rig.
Big Rig. Aktanarowicz.
And he's a big dude, 200 centimeters tall.
If someone could just give me like a thumbs up on Facebook or something that it is Aktanarowicz, then I'll be happy with that.
Maybe a detailed description of how to say it would be great. But you've got a couple of second-year coaches here, Tony Casella and Michael Rogers. One's had more success than the other. But really, as I've said it already tonight, Sturt have nothing to lose. And they could really just come out early, put some points on the board. Maybe shell-shock the Flames, who would be more than confident coming into this clash. And perhaps make a game of it.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. It should be an absolute rip-snorter of a game. I'm really looking forward to it. Sturt, obviously, in the traditional double blue, and Norwood in their traditional navy and red.
It's great history between the clubs.
I mean, you can't think of them in any other colour, can you, really?
Well, Norwood were established after the war, and Sturt established 1960. Clubs with intense history as we get ready for tip-off. And that is Brian up against the likes of, we'll get that in a second, but we're about to go. Tom Goodall jumping up.
And there we go, and Norwood will have, Sturt will have first shot at it.
Here's CJ Rivers, as we called earlier. And looks like Sturt are going to get the first bucket of the night.
No, he just didn't want to go. You give a commentator close to a ball. I think that's a new one.
It was
So
just
Norwood
in the air, that log.
Norwood will look to go one of the Webbers.
That's Lysette there too. Just an all-star lineup, as I said earlier, for Norwood.
First drive of the game. They'll kick it out for 3. No good. Bench got up. Has to sit back down again.
They look to bring in the energy early. Norwood will look to put this game to bed by quarter time. that's what they'd aim to do. I know it won't pan out like that, but that's why the bench is getting up so quick, so early. I'm intrigued to see CJ Rivers though. He's been touted as one of the best imports in the league. Hasn't lived up to the standards yet, but...
Oh, nice dish though.
I was about to say he's an assist king, and he pulls that one out. Has handles.
And there we go. That's driven in as well, and that's one of the other Webbers. That is D. Webber.
Daniel Webber there. Of course, the two Webber brothers are basically synonymous with basketball in South Australia. Andrew Webber having played over 300 matches. Daniel not too far behind.
Rivers will find DeSantis. DeSantis will kick it out. Out to DeSantis. Time to go. Didn't quite get there.
Oh,
Rivers steals it. Reverse can't get there.
Norwood
can come again.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's a good slash. And then the little dish inside, and Norwood. Daniel Webber will add to his tally.
And clockwork early on there for Norwood. Great sequence. And that's physical there. Doesn't quite fall though for Rawson. Bring it back out. And this is Brian.
Brian will spin around, put it up, and it will go.
One of the best players in the grand final last year for Southern. He had something like 6 of 12 three-pointers, was dominant in the match. And coming down to Norwood, he's been superior as well. One player of the round and a shout at many more as well. But here's Rawson posting up. Kind of sneaks through the gap.
And does very, very well, Rawson. I tell you what, Rawson's got some flubber in his boots as well. That boy can get up and jump.
Yeah, and probably, if you saw him on the street, it wouldn't look like a basketballer, but just shows quality. And it's a credit to Sturt's youth program. They've got one of the best in Adelaide and probably Australia too. There's that trademark jump shot 3 from Andrew Webber. Doesn't fall this time, but you see it more often than not tonight.
Brian was left all alone, then Brian at the top thinks about it, then decides to pull the trigger. Didn't go down for him. Sturt will look to come away. Interestingly, watching the warm-up, DeSantis certainly spent a lot of his time hanging around right down in the corners, almost like the sort of Klay Thompson sort of area.
Well, it's a genuine strategy right now. It's the easiest, it's the most, like, stats-wise and lengthwise, it's the smartest shot in the game. If you can have someone just stationed on that spot, it spreads out the defense, and if they get the outlet, that's not a hard shot to make. It's the shortest three-pointer on the court. That's big.
There's another lovely three-pointer in Sturt. I have come addressed for business tonight.
That's Rawson again, showing you can work it inside and on the outside too.
We are looking forward to a fast break though. We want to see a fast break.
Yeah, we do.
We are cleared for takeoff tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
This is Matty Lysette. Of course, I said it earlier, 2015 Wollacott medalist, the quality player in his own right. And
Defender in his face, didn't matter.
And look at the reaction from Liga too. He loves it. He's as much an attitude player as any player in this competition. You just love it when he gets going because he is just so verbal, so vocal, so emotive.
Pull-up jumper didn't quite go. It does eventually.
You gave the Vicky on that one.
Had a long, hard think about it, that one, before it made its way in.
And this is Daniel looking to bring things around. Another great basketballer.
Lots of space. Webber again pulls up, didn't quite come down for him. Rivers will come away. Rivers putting his foot down, then almost a pull-up 3. Then he will drive, finger roll.
That's delicious from Rawson. Looking imposing early on. But we saw Webber before, this is Andrew. But Daniel, if you're looking for a player to get...
Nice reverse layup.
Delicious. But as you said, if you're looking for a player to get a triple-double tonight, probably Daniel Webber's your man. He had, I think, 11 8s and 8s last week, and wasn't too far off. So
Rivers will go baseline, kick it out, corner, 3, bench rises, 6 down again.
not the best from Cale Matthews there, the captain. He's one of the best three-point shooters in the comp. So
Nice drive again. And Lysett will tack 2 on.
but this is risky for Sturt. They probably can't go with Norwood in a shootout. They're going to have to make sure the defense stays strong and keeps getting stops on that end of the court so they can maintain pace with these league leaders.
Nice inside pass from Rivers for the easy 2. Webber will drive, then decides to come back out. Tapped away by Rivers.
Nice hand in there, Rivers.
Back to the basket, tried to just skyhook it over the top, didn't quite get there, and Legan will come away. A number of Sturt players for company at that point.
You can't give Legan too much space. He was in the All-Star 5 last year in the Premier League. He's a quality basketballer. Not from outside specifically, that's probably what he's best at as a shooting guard, but he can pass it too and work his way inside the key. It's a handful, to put it simply. But we see Brian Moultrie come on the court for the first time tonight.
And the big group, Aktanarowicz. Legan, again, just absolutely smothered. Has it go anyway, then they'll just float it in. Roll is Norwood's. And Rivers will look to strike right back, drive. Nice little layup.
And the lightning pace there, the stop-start, just to explode forward when he needed to.
Pull-up jumper, didn't quite get there.
Here's Big Rig.
Comes away with it. You're not even going to have a go at it, are you? Then the three-pointer is good.
Oh, and the fist pump as well from DeSantis. He's up and about. Got the third best shooting percentage in the league from 3 at 51%. You want him having the ball. Him and Cale Matthews both shoot above 50% from the three-point line, which is unheard of in this, in basketball. If they can maintain it the whole year, that's great. But this is one guy.
Legan has the lane, pulls up on the free throw strike, doesn't quite get there. Tried to get the tip back in, didn't quite get there. And Rivers will get to come away. Rivers has complete control of the pace of this game at the moment. 3-point lead for Sturt. Then another 3. Ooh. Double it and make it 6.
DeSantis dismantling this Norwood. The Flames in strife.
Wonder whether we'll see a repeat of the game that we saw prior to this one, where Sturt got away and could not be reeled back in. Nice inside pass. The big fellas go at it.
They're probably offensive. Not sure who on, but that's big from Sturt. They're up at a 6-point lead against the league leaders. This is a winless side, and they're up and about. And the Pasadena crowd really needs to get behind them because it's a promising start.
Well, strange things can happen. I didn't check the moon as we walked in, but
someone could fill us in on Facebook. That would be great.
The underdogs are up as Rivers will pull up for 3. Didn't find his range. Norwood have to do something, and that's a massive hand. Just getting it in, Clausen.
And Clausen back in the competition this week. This is his first week back. The equal defensive player of the year last year. I didn't even know he was on the team sheet.
Well, you can see why.
An absolute, if anyone epitomises Sturt, it's Tim Clausen. What a guy.
I think that was Rawson just trying to get his hands in. Oh no, sorry, number 18 it was, Beeks, who trying to block and just was a little over enthusiastic, and it'll put Norwood at the charity stripe. Long will look to shoot for 2. Oh, all the way around the rim and then back out again.
Well, the reason I'm surprised with Clausen, because the rumour was that he wasn't going to play this year, but he's back. And Sturt.
Rumours. We've all tried retiring.
A healthy addition.
We've all tried retiring. It doesn't work. Big Rig thought about the 3. And a nice bounce pass to Rivers. Then a kick out for 3. All good.
And that's nice. Hayden Meeks there with the basket. He had 24 against the Lions last week. on the Saturday shows that all of these Sturt players can put up big games when they need to. If they do it on the same night, maybe they will get their first win of the season. That's nice from Long.
Didn't get the turnover, but that's that. Throwing up the 3 salutes all over the place, this Sturt bench. Rivers pulling the strings. Start calling him Geppetto, and then he will go up. Well, they have got an odd man break if they can find him. Legan will step back and almost get through, but there's the big fellow with the rebound too.
Ooh,
and the block.
He still has it.
Still going, quick pass, then down to the low post. Back out for 3, didn't go. Legan follows it in, and finally.
You just can't give him that many opportunities if you're Sturt. Far too soft there on defense. Just needed someone to stand tall and just smack that and grab that rebound.
He'll go low to the big rig and then out to Rivers. Rivers, head fake for the travel.
You see it on so many imports just over and over, and it's just, they're strict on it in this league, and you get used to it. It's one of those things where it's almost like welcoming you to Australia.
It's a timeout, and between the 2 games, I thought I'd have a chat with you about some stuff. I thought through some stuff.
Yeah.
So 2 games. Well, I'm not going to count them, but it's way over 20 players. Not one of them wearing the number 23. Now, where does that? Is that a thing? Would basketball players think about it and go, well, if I wear the number 23, I'm putting myself out there?
You know, I think it is something that you have to earn. And
right. Okay.
I think players, you do get the players every now and then that just wear it because they like the number. But
nobody wears 23 because they like the number.
It's added pressure, you know. it's something. I think it's something you strive for. I think, but that's a really good point, and it's something I didn't notice, and we'll have to keep an eye on that throughout
the season. Keep an eye on it. Because honestly, I couldn't even buy a Jordan shirt. I couldn't even buy a Jordan shirt. I don't feel worthy to actually wear that shirt. I feel like as a 40-year-old man with a 40-year-old midriff, I couldn't do it justice.
Not even capitalism could do that to
no.
Jordan brand.
No, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. And we'll get on to shoes at the next break. Legan.
I love it.
Steps back for 3
I love it.
and makes it.
That's so good from Legan, just stepping back. He knows his spot and he just took it.
Rivers fires it across. Off the front iron, doesn't get there. The big rig trying to get it back in. Legan just trying to slow it down. I keep saying, just try and take the little bit of the sting out of it.
You know, if anyone would wear number 23, it'd probably be Legan.
Well, maybe we should do that. Maybe I've an idea for you, and I'll talk to you about it at quarter time. Ooh. Legan. Came off Rivers, so it'll be a Norwood ball.
But with 0.4 seconds on the clock, what can you do with it? Just enough time to get a shot off.
Is there a time? You've got to tip it, haven't you? They'll have to tip it. They'll have to.
Oh.
And they do. It nearly worked. Just wasn't quite there. So quarter time, 23 points to 24 in favour of Sturt.
That's a tremendous start for Sturt.
What a great start. Yep.
And
they had pushed the lead out. Just let me see. What was their biggest lead? 8 was their biggest lead. Biggest lead of Norwood's game was 4. So they got there. Right. Okay. So 2 things. First of all, possibly Basketball SA should award a number 23 jersey every week. Every week.
Like a golden jersey, like cycling.
Every week, the best player of the round gets a number 23 jersey. I like it. Shoes, not so much, because I've seen a couple of people walking around in the LeBron shoulders and playing in the LeBron shoulders.
Yeah.
Soldiers. Is that I think footwear doesn't really matter, but I think the number does. I think if you're putting yourself out there and you're wearing that number 23, you've got to be able to back it up.
Well, I think if you're on the Premier League court, you justify wearing footwear that shows you're a bowler. But like if I'm walking out on a social court and I'm sporting the latest LeBrons,
yes,
and I put up 0 for 16,
you're building a house.
I mean, it's exactly it. What I do want to show though is Rivers has been really inspirational for this Sturt side. He's had 4 assists in that first term, and really has led the way to their scoring. And if they're going to stay in touch with Norwood, They need Rivers to just be there the entire match.
And the massive thing about that I've been watching from Rivers and been seeing from Rivers is just how crisp his pass is.
Yeah.
It's like diamond sharp. So by the time the defence reacts to that flat and quick pass, the shot's already up. They can't close down, especially because they're having to double team Rivers, because if he gets ISO, they're in trouble.
Yeah.
They double team him, and the speed that he can get the pass to the open man is causing problems for Norwood as well. It's probably time for Legan and the Norwood boys to lift a little bit, but let's see how they go. Here is Legan. Nice little round the back pass, gets underneath, has to work very, very hard and does get it, and gets and one.
BMO with the big play.
I tell you what, they love the and one, don't they? The things that basketballers love to celebrate: threes and the and one.
Anything that's more than 2 points. But that's huge. BMO coming back to Norwood after playing there back in 2012. He spent 8 years or so in Europe and has come back, and what a warm welcome he's received in these first 2 matches. Played his first match on Anzac Day, and he's kind of the man that Norwood needs. You can see with their players, a lot of them are a little bit smaller, they're more on the guard side, and BMO just brings that big presence into the key with the likes of Brian.
He certainly does. I mean, he's a quintessential centre, isn't he? A big player! On cue! Get up!
The quintessential centre. Oh my God.
The timing was outstanding. Swatted. No. And do you know the great thing? Normally when you see these blocks and they go up and they volleyball it, it ends 10 rows back. He's found a player. He's found Legan.
It's a steal and it's a block and a steal. It's a block and a steal.
Spanked it. Legan.
You think he's going to take it, don't you?
Oh, and he's got a foul if that goes. Oh, he's asking. They did not give it to him.
There was hand-on-arm contact there, for sure.
They were holding hands.
Legan looks hot, though, early on. For a guy, I'm going to draw this to your attention because it's worth talking about. For James Legan, he's a volume 3-point shooter. I've said it. He's 30. He's got them, hit the most threes of the season with 31. He's 31 of 95 this year at an average of 33%. You think of that, he's hit the most threes. He's also attempted the most threes. The next best is a guy called Michael Harris for Forestville, who has hit 30 off 69. And compare that with 31 for 95, it doesn't look as good, does it?
So I think Legan continued his argument, because I think we just had a technical free throw. Yeah, I think he continued his argument. Well, it's a little bit of a turnaround, isn't it? Because he's seriously put himself in foul trouble. But yeah, well, the and one that he would have had has now been taken away completely.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, good defense again. Legan's going to go. Norwood are just, situation normal as BMO will just roll around the bottom. That's low post work, ladies and gentlemen. Any children watching? That's how you do it.
Yeah, and this is dangerous for Sturt. They're kind of being bossed around by these big Norwood boys, and they just need to get some scores on the board, and that's how to do it.
3 didn't quite get there, and BMO will clean up the trash. Big drive from Weber. That time they do get the point.
Yeah, that was Lystedt there, but he just pushes fast so quickly. That's his trademark, just the lightning pace and his ability to just maneuver his body into the right spaces. But as we're saying, Sturt call the timeout. They're down by 6 now.
Well, in the blink of an eye, it's turned to 6.
And just after that block by Brian Moultrie, they just put on the pain. And
it looks like they made Legan angry. Do not make Legan angry.
Well, I mean, he gives away a tech if you do. But
well, yeah, that's true. But he has risen. And
he's a guy that plays on
Norwood
emotion.
coach also having a conversation. It's a really difficult one because, you and I both saw it. It was right in front of us. We do have the benefit of a replay, but it was about as obvious as you can get. He was holding onto his wrist during the shot. It's a really difficult one for Legan, especially to let go. You have to be superhuman at that point to go, nah, do you know what? I'm going to settle for the 3.
But it's very rare that you hear of text called because a foul has been missed rather than a foul has been called. You get a lot of text in reacting after the whistle, but if there's no whistle, you don't often have a player chasing back and remembering it.
Well, it was a long time.
Yeah.
Well, we had like 2 phases of, well, we didn't. We had a whole phase of play, then a whistle, then the tech came, and that's you know, don't do it. He's still talking now. I hope he's not talking about that. I don't mind him having a chat.
I think he's asking what he's doing after.
Yeah. But if you're still going on about that foul, you're not playing.
Yeah.
First one is good. Nice smile from Mr. Webber. Oh, sorry, that's not Webber, is it? Lysett for the camera.
And this is the second, though. Maybe because he called his name.
Oh, yeah. I'm not Webber.
There's enough Webbers in this team already.
Rivers.
In the women's as well.
I must say, Sturt will drive again. This time Bimo can't get it.
That's quality there. Inside from Daniel Nash.
He looks like a youngster. Have you got any background on Mr. Nash? Other than the fact that he looks like Steve Nash.
Well, that's the thing. We talk about these players playing for Sturt now as being strong young players, but you've got guys playing in college. Isaac White is a guy playing at Stanford. You have the Daly brothers playing for Mount Gambier. They both came through Sturt and through college and have had stints in the NBL. A lot of quality players. I know I'm missing a lot too because I've been reading about this, and the amount of players who start at Sturt and like move on to bigger things is quite extraordinary, and really shows that the Sturt mentality is that they respect the Premier League, but they also want their youth to be more than that. They do see the bigger picture.
Risky pass, low percentage pass. Yep. Certainly one of the Sturt players making his point. Who was that? That was number 8 for Sturt. Where's he gone?
Matthews, the captain.
He certainly made his point.
Yeah,
that's,
I love a bit of a fake flop. You see that from the likes of Pat Bev in the playoffs as well when Durant was manning up on him. You don't often see a Weber boy on the ground, so.
So Nash has had his work cut out for him. He has backed down Legan and now he's backing down Weber. That one will bounce away and Sturt will come out. Slows down to Rivers. Rivers will kick it out. Matthews thought about it. Rivers will reset.
He's got a lot to get through there.
Does very well. Great pass. Nope. And now they're going to turn it around. They do. And they got the points for it.
Oh. Check the temperature in Pasadena right now. It's not the same. Oh, and that's big. That's unfortunate.
Another turnover. But Bryan rising high. And
meets him at his highest point as
does.
well.
And the other thing is, again, is that it's not going out of bounds. It went to hand.
You're right.
Are they practicing this?
They just know where to be. They know where Bryan's going to... It's like a hit out. Out of the other person's hands. Weber looking a bit confused. You see that face a lot. One of the great characters of the league.
Has a little bit of a smile and a chat with one of our officials.
And our man Big Rig's back on court.
So Rivers, just let it push out a bit. 7 points the difference. Big Rig will rise. It didn't quite go. And Bimo, in the battle of the nicknames, will win.
I think he almost expected that to just like to have more opponents when he jumped up there for the shot. Almost put him off.
It was too easy.
Yeah. With the likes of guys like Bimo, you got to...
Bimo will drive! We talked about it. Throw the hammer down.
I'm facing. Woo! Bimo.
Bimo has come to play. Bimo angry. Bimo smash. Just the inside move. And we have to be pleased that they're breakaway rims. He's going to go again. Can he work him underneath? Bimo works hard, gets up, doesn't quite go. Still working hard.
You have to call a timeout there. That's intense. The fact that they worked so well on defense there inside, but he just grabbed it again and they had to do it all over again. Here's the dunk.
That was Shaquille O'Neal-esque, big, strong, dominant. He has just destroyed any hopes. Just, you felt the air come out of the building. He shook the air out of the building.
He hasn't lost anything, has he, since 2012? You see it again. Flushing it down like it's adventure time.
You could tell that he wanted to stay up there a little bit longer. You could tell that he wanted to get the full Shaq silhouette going on. He didn't. He was good though. He let it go. But yeah, wow. Just take a breath, ladies and gentlemen.
Look at that. That face sums it up.
He's stolen his heart.
He's taken it and just left with it. What does Sturt do to come back here though? I'd say they just got to, their outside game is probably their biggest proponent. They got to not even, I guess it's difficult when players like Brian and Brian Moultrie are just dominating inside. Like you don't, the players know to defend the outside because they're going to shoot from there.
I mean, you're going to reach a point though. I mean, they had 3 players around BMO at that point, and he still managed to finish the second one. The first one, he just managed to find his way along the baseline.
Yeah.
They've just got to go back to where they were at the beginning of this game. They just seem to have lost a little bit of that spark and shine.
Bit of miscommunication.
Just directing traffic. Shot clock was running out. Nice little floater on the run.
Rawson, a seriously underrated player as well. Knows how to get the ball to the rack.
Outside for the 3 for Weber. Interesting looking shot, almost spinning sideways. Rivers. He's going to drive with the Euro step and the go. No whistle. The bench wants one. Weber will look for space, then he will come back inside. Too easy.
And one of the bench players, Long there, serious bit part player. He plays his role so well for Norwood. Happy to come off the bench, but he always shoots from a high clip, a high percentage.
Not a turnover. Fast break. Can he get there? Yes, he can. Norwood just starting to edge away and increase the pressure on this Sturt Sabres side.
They can't stop him right now. The turnovers are killing them on transition.
Just a little stab step, then let it go, and it didn't come down for him, and Weber will come away.
They're making sure Sturt don't get consecutive possessions either, just blocking out that basket so they don't even have the chance to grab an offensive rebound, so Norwood can just continue their flow.
Weber and Weber looking to link up.
There's that layup. Just smooth, too easy almost. And there's Clausen coming back on.
Weber looks inside, sets the floater away, and we can say it again, too easy. It's starting to become monotonous for Norwood at the moment, and Sturt really have to stop this roll. Otherwise they could find themselves in for a long, long night at Pasadena. Big Rig tries to find an inside ball, does find an inside ball. So you asked the question, what do Sturt do from here?
Turnover helps. Just getting consecutive baskets, just slowly eating away at the deficit.
Rivers to the Big Rig. The Big Rig will work hard inside. He will get one and get an extra go.
That's what he's there for. Doesn't just teach us the alphabet, teaches the Norwood defenders how to protect the key.
Aktanarowicz, I'm going with. So Aktanarowicz will go to the line for his extra one.
I love the reaction from Weber there on the replay. Just throws his hands up in the air like, what did I do?
And he will get the and one.
Back to 10 points. This is what they need to keep it at least to the halftime break. Anywhere close is a bonus at this stage, considering how dominant Norwood have been this time.
Baseline again, but fouled on the way up.
Weffner working hard.
I just saw Rawson just pull everyone together underneath the basket and just say something. Will it be Hufner?
I went Hufner.
Hufner?
It's
a H-U-E, so I reckon it's a Hufner.
We'll go with it. It might have been Australianised to something else, you know.
Huffy. So he'll sink. Don't hassle the Huff. He'll sink both of his free throws. Rivers is having a rest. Oh, just poked away. But in the act of shooting, Brian will ask the question, shakes his head, doesn't believe it. With a 12-point lead, I think you're okay. I think you can let a couple of them go.
Yeah, you'd want Matthews to lead by example here.
He hits the first one.
And unfortunately, doesn't hit the second.
Brian, oh, that's a pass. Just, Hufner wasn't quite ready for it. Then he will kick it out when finished off perfectly by Long. Starting to see Norwood make some rotations now, giving some of their starters a rest.
And you just feel that Sturt do feel a little bit more comfortable without the inclusion of Moultrie into that five.
Out to the corner.
Rawson,
he did like it. Looked good off his hand. Spent a long time looking at it. Gets another go, rolls around, then we'll kick it out to the big rig for three. Trucks that feeling too. Norwood will look to bite right back. Brian, not to be outdone.
Unfortunate on Rawson. I feel like Brian did jump forward there.
But he's still in that area where he's landing. He's in the space where he's landing, and I didn't see whether it was 2 or 3.
I think that's 2. But
no, 3. They've got 3 fingers up.
Yep.
So there's the first one of 3.
And Brian doesn't miss this. One of the best. Oh, I'm going to put the Mickey on him, am I?
Oh, you already have. Far too late. Oh, Brian. So good, even the commentator's curse can't get him.
Yeah.
So Sturt have now got Griffin running the offense. Finds the low post. Can't quite get away with it. Long will come down with it. Weber will look to come out. Nice outlet pass to Hufner. Gets it back. Nothing internal. Price will get the foul. Big rig. Not shooting though, so. We must be in the bonus.
Yeah, looks like it. Both sides in the bonus now.
First one is good. Second one was better.
And look who's coming back on.
And the BMO is coming back on.
And Brian takes a spell though, so that's a good player coming on for a good player.
Griffiths will send it to the top of the key at the free throw strike. Big rig will take on BMO. That nice skip pass. Didn't come off though. Big rig.
Oh, unfortunate. He worked hard for it.
The battle of the number 11s there. Griffiths kind of like, Griffin just kind of pushed Weber away. Said, I'll hate my teammate, not you. Ah, it's gonna go, that's gonna go. Weber says, listen young man, I've been here before you.
teaching lessons out
He
there.
did.
Andrew Webber.
Short of getting a chalkboard out there, there's not a lot more that Webber could have done to show the young man up. And Bimo actually helps him because Webber wanted to go at him. Second one is good.
And whenever Webber can pull off something like an and one or a 3-pointer, you'll see the bench just clear. They love him at Norwood, and why not? Rawson smart. Draws a foul.
I think he did draw a foul. Strong defence along the baseline, but too strong. Let's see Wilson come on for Norwood. Matthews will sink the first one. Second one has the same fate. So this is Wilson. Back to Webber. Nice and strong inside move, and Bimo trying to get up there. And we'll get the foul.
It's just so strong.
I remember we were talking in the women's game about how, especially in the modern NBA, the big, strong, banging centre seems to have sort of gone out of existence, but Bimo is being very retro tonight and bringing it right back.
Well, the crazy thing is he's listed as a forward on most stat sheets, because in his time in America, he wasn't the tallest player on the court. He wasn't the big centre. But just in a league like this, where you just have the weight difference, you have the height difference, it's so hard to defend, and there's literally a handful of players in the competition that probably can.
Powerful. And he has a little bit of finesse from the stripe as well.
Not a bad technique. I want to see him shoot a 3 tonight.
So step back, not good. Sturt will come away with it. Can they find an outlet? They do find an outlet. Out to the big rig, over the top of Bimo. Doesn't quite get there. There's a battle for the ages. Couldn't quite come back in with it.
Unfortunately, had no one at just the baseline there, just to tap it to as he brought it in. And Norwood just looking to take control of this match. Heading into probably the final play. Shot clock and game clock have almost synchronised.
Oh. It's no good breaking the ankles there, young man.
From Wilson.
Oh, tried too much. Sturt will come away. Big rig looks for it, doesn't get it. Tipping didn't go. That will do us for the half. 19 points the difference.
And all of a sudden, after Sturt led at quarter time, they trailed by 19. A 20-point quarter there for Norwood, and you saw their bench was on the court at the end of that quarter. They've almost ripped it away from Sturt in the matter of 10 minutes.
We started out almost exactly the same as the ladies' game, where Sturt really got out to a good start and got themselves a decent lead. The difference was, in the ladies' game, Norwood kept coming back and then Sturt would move away again.
Yeah.
Whereas this time Norwood were like, no, hang on, we're going to rein you in, then we're going to stamp all over you, and then we're going to throw you back into the sea.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but Sturt will give them everything in the second half, and you just know they will. But it remains to be seen if they can kind of erase that deficit.
Well, we are going to have a short break and we'll be back with you for quarter number 3.
the most applause I've seen for
So-
such a foul.
What was? I didn't see what the foul was.
I didn't pick it either.
I'm confused now.
Must have been inside. That's all I can say.
So Norwood again will go.
Unfortunate there from Clausen.
Yeah,
He
look-
did well to cover him, but just got a bit of hands.
Looked kind of clean.
But a lot more. You already see the imperative, like, or the impetus on defense here from Sturt early in the quarter.
First one is good from Weber.
They're chasing their men to the ring. They're forcing them to earn every basket instead of just those easy layups that we saw in the past. And as long as they don't keep spilling over turnovers, they'll continue to make a game of this match.
Rivers, nice work from the rig as he comes back inside. Can't quite get there, but rebound is good from Clausen.
Nifty there too.
And went over the top of Bimo as well, which is no mean feat.
Another foul. And they are already in the bonus. It's been 3 minutes and 12 seconds. And that was the 5th foul conceded by Sturt. So stronger on defense, but a little bit too strong. And we might see a few trips to the line in this term.
Well, I mean, that's it. Any foul from now on is a trip to the line for Norwood. And Brian is going to go there, and he, like clockwork, will hit the first one. Second one, not that good. Tannerowicz will come down for the rebound. And run a little bit of point. Gets the kick out. DeSantis, pull-up jumper. Got nothing.
Kept alive though.
Good pass.
And a little bit too quick there for Rivers. I think he did the little outlet to Clausen there. He didn't quite realise it. But handles by Rivers aren't going unnoticed tonight. He has been good.
Oh, Bimo. He's got to be careful.
He does, especially when he's
Well, we've seen that the officials are certainly trigger happy. He did cop him a good one with an with an elbow. I'm not sure he's got too much to complain about.
I think it was just where he hit him as well. On the nose, caused him to react back.
Oh, and that one's picked off. DeSantis had tried to cut. Norwood will go. Eurostep. Too big. Bimo. Angry Bimo. Angry Bimo scores.
Oh, Bimo working around the basket like no other in the league. His big rig on the other end.
Oh, I thought he was going to rise up. Just went with the layup. Teased us. The Weber brothers wanting to slow Norwood down a little bit. Bimo wants to put the foot on the loud pedal. 3 from Weber. Doesn't quite get there. Bimo strong again and 1. No. Wipe the basket off. Careful, big fella. Walk around the back of him so we can't see you. We're enjoying watching you play, Bimo. Don't leave us.
And look at Michael
It looks like he's on his way out.
Oh.
He's gone to the canteen. He's had enough. He's got to get some lollies.
He's doing the full ride around the stadium.
He's giving himself a lap.
He's subbed himself off and it's come off from that end. He's one more foul goal and he would explode, I think.
Yeah.
But they're getting around him. They love him. He's pulled this match away from Sturt, to be honest.
Fast becoming my favourite person for his rim rocker. The big rig doesn't quite get there. Gets it poked away. Big outlet pass to Weber. Weber will bounce it inside. I'm going to say it again. Too easy.
And Long gets himself into these high percentage places and just makes the most of it. He's a seriously underrated player in this Norwood lineup.
Rivers, then they will kick it around the outside. Dabble just dragged that pivot foot. He knew it as soon as he did it.
Yeah.
He even heard the squeak. I think it was the squeak that gave him away. Corner, Brine, 3. Rivers, and every single one. It's death by 1,000 cuts at the moment for Sturt.
It is quite painful. And the fact that all these 5 players in the Norwood lineup can hit a 3, as well as Legan who got ejected, it's just hard to stop. And they unfortunately aren't hitting theirs either, so surprised that Rivers didn't hit that.
There's a lot of time given to Rivers, and in the end he decides to drive the lane and go with the layup.
Well, he's showing his explosiveness.
Well, he had an option. He had different options all the way through.
You can see though, the way he plays, he is a pass first kind of point guard. He looks for his options before deciding to drive. But it's a quality player to have in the league, coming out of Drake University in America and making his presence felt. It's showing that his handles are a class unlike many. Trying the alley-oop is Brian, but instead he will have to settle for the line.
Just want to have a look at Brian's line. Actually, 15 points.
We didn't do much in the first half, and he scored the first 5 points of this term. Add that 3 onto it, and that's more than half his points for the game.
15 points, 5 rebounds, no assists, 1 block. But he's been metronomic from the stripe.
Yeah, hasn't. You had to do it to him.
I know, but there you go. That rectifies it.
Yeah, it's better than that, to be honest. Yeah, looking to damage control really here, stem the bleeding somehow. Bullet pass from DeSantis.
How do you do? That's been the problem. That's one way, just didn't sit, but the follow is good.
Tom Goodall there, looking to make the most. He's started the match, but we haven't seen too much of him apart from that. You just see the quality oozing out of this Norwood lineup.
Weber will kick to Brine. Brine, lovely little layup as well. Sorry, that was long.
But long again. He shoots it a high clip. That's 5 from 5 from the field now.
Just finds himself in the right places, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Nice work inside again from Rivers. And Rivers really has been the only person wearing the double blue who's really given them anything.
Well, we haven't seen Rawson this term either. He's just looking comfortable on the bench there. Quite sweaty. So you would surprised if we're not seeing more of him.
Yeah, and so Norwood will ring another change and we'll see the hoof. Weber will find Hoofler.
And that's
Well, same thing. Can't change your pivot foot. A lot of the sting has gone out of this one. Can you see it happen?
Rivers gets
Go for the travel.
It's quite entertaining watching him adjust his foot there, but it didn't amount to anything.
Can you see a way back into this for Sturt?
The fact of the matter is 21 points down it's achievable, but you just have to start working point by point and really take the life out of this game and then start grinding your way back into it. It starts with defense because you can't really let Norwood get past 100 here. Otherwise, there's no chance.
First team that hits 100 invariably wins, and there's 2 more towards that total.
I just don't see Sturt putting on another 40 points here to steal it from him.
That's a nice inside pass. That's one way to start. Just they haven't had the roll tonight, Sturt. They've got themselves in positions. It just hasn't landed for them.
And it's so disappointing too, because that fast start, they look likely. They look lively as well. And it just hasn't translated across the stretch.
Shot clock coming down. Long. Finds himself in nice positions and positions where it's high percentage shots for him.
And the sound technique as well with that jump shot. Moving, managed to balance himself so steady, aiming at that basket.
DeSantis baseline reverse. Misses everything. And Norwood still foot on the loud pedal and going. Step back three. Nothing. Not even get it out of the Sturt crowd now.
And there it is from long. Just easy.
Pretty. That is a pretty jumper.
Just holds it as well. Waits till he's set and then releases. He just knows. He would have shot that shot thousands of times in practice. Just getting to the elbow and just letting it fly. And here we go again.
2-on-1. Can they do anything? Oh, over the top. And he's got the steal.
Oh, it's just tearing them apart here.
Tearing them apart is certainly a word for it. As long with the easy layup again.
And Tony Casella cutting a pretty forlorn figure on the sideline there. Not even talking anymore.
3-pointer is off. And Norwood will just pile on the pressure and they will find themselves in the Sturt half again.
You see the contrast of the coaches though. Casella just sitting there kind of watching, but Rogers seeing his team up 25, just yelling over and over. You hear him in the feed here, and he just is not happy with what he's seeing, but he just wants his side to be better. You see it.
DeSantis, loads of time, loads of space. Again, just can't get it to go.
And with 10 seconds left, this will be the last play of the term. The match is kind of broken down in this quarter.
Oh, hey, there we go. Little bit of light for Sturt, something to celebrate. What have we got on the clock? 1.1 seconds. 1.1 seconds. This is going to have to be impressive. Got to go.
The heave.
Yeah, there was never going to be any form on that. So, end of the third quarter, and it's an interesting point that you make about the Norwood coach, because really now it is the time. Clive Woodward, and not a name that you people like to be brought up in Australia, the winner of the 2003 Rugby World Cup. Clive Woodward used to talk about what generally happens is when teams win, they sit down and they go, why did we win? What did we do well? How do we do it? Oh no, the other way around. They go out. You win a game, you go out, you get drunk. You have a night out. Yeah. You lose a game, like Sturt, you sit in an office on Monday morning, you're like, what did we do wrong? How do we fix this? How do we get this right? Why can't we, what? And you go through it with a fine-tooth comb. Clive Woodward says, flip it. If you lose a game, go out, forget about it. Don't worry about it, just go out, move on. You know you're good enough, you can play the fundamentals well enough, you'll be fine. When you win a game like Norwood, that's when you lock yourself in an office. What did we do that went well? How do we do it again? How do we keep doing it? And I think that's what we're seeing from the Norwood coach. In fact, I think we're seeing, the Clive Woodward model from both the coaches. The Sturt coaches, well, there's no point shouting and breaking a clipboard, is there?
It's true. It's true.
It's not going to solve anything.
You've summed it up brilliantly there, Dave. Honestly, Norwood have been a side that have had success for so many years as well. They know the model that achieves success. They strive for it. They chase it down.
Yeah.
And these Webber brothers and Lystead as well, they've been around for eons, and they're just desperate for another championship. They fell at the second to last hurdle last year. And of course, against the likes of Daniel Johnson and Forestville, they were just overpowered in that preliminary final. But they just want more. You can see the hunger there. And that's why they beefed up their squad. That's why they added players like BMO.
It's one of the toughest positions to be in as a coach, is when you are dominating a side, trying to keep playing the basketball that you want them to play, and not all of a sudden start everyone wanting an ISO and everyone wanting stuff and throwing passes that look flashy.
Oh, a missile into the crowd.
As if by magic, as if on cue again. I'm sure he's got his ears on us.
Might have been aiming to a ref.
You've still got to play that good fundamental basketball. If anything, let the Sturt guys have fun.
Yeah.
Kick pass to the corner, 3 is good.
Nice from Cal Matthews.
Webber will carry. Bimo is working hard. Tries to get to the low post again. Offensive rebound by Long, then a nice little dish inside.
And it's still
And
easy
another
offensive
two.
rebound, uncontested. And Long just playing his role really well. I'd love to see him grab more minutes for Norwood because it's just effective. It's the way to put it.
Just try and I'll have a look at his stat line actually, because I think I don't remember seeing him miss.
He hasn't missed.
And I think, yeah, 7 for 7 from the field. No 3-pointers, but 7 for 7.
And I believe that might be 8 for 8 now.
Probably, yeah, because...
oh, wait, no, that was a pass. But he found the rebound, dished it off, and adds to his stats.
But there's nothing... Bimo will kick it out to the corner, then the skip pass.
Here he is again.
Here we'll go to Long. And again, that would be 8 for 8.
But that's the basketball brain. You know, he saw he didn't have the easy shot. He worked around, made the most effective, got himself into the place where he could make the most effective shot and converted.
But everything that he's done has looked like an easy shot because he's got himself into those positions. That is not an easy shot and was finished very, very well.
Yeah, Lyset really showing his worth. Kind of winding back the clock here. Here's Rawson though.
Rawson for 3 doesn't land, and Long will pick up another. Rebound. So that's 15 points, 3 rebounds. Bimo will add 2 extra, and there's a timeout.
And that's Casella calling it. It was a bit too much like clockwork there for the Flames.
As we see just that little inside pass from Long, feeding Lyset. But Long has been impressive. He looks like a young man as well.
Yeah, still in his early years. I believe he's about 24 now. But he's been in the squad for so long. And you look at someone like Daniel Webber, I'll compare him to, because Daniel Webber was sitting on the bench for Norwood's triumphs in the late 2000s. He wasn't featuring very often when Andrew, his brother, made that incredible shot to beat the buzzer to win the grand final from about 2/3 down the court. But it just shows that patience, eventually you'll get your chance. And Daniel is a standard feature in Norwood's starting lineup and has been for the past 10 years.
Overall, Sturt 24 from 58 from the floor, shooting at 41%. Norwood 34 from 58 from the floor, which is 58%.
And just 8 turnovers for the Flames throughout the match. That's pretty good considering they've pulled up way more assists.
If you're missing more than 1 in 2, you're going to struggle.
Yeah, it's a good call. You see NBA teams now shooting at 55% on average. And on a good night, bumping above that 60% mark.
It's a nice pass from Rivers. Rivers had to have 2 bites at it. Still makes it a cherry. Norwood will just cruise towards that 3 figures. The no-look pass.
That's Andrew Webber special. This time it doesn't work out, but you would have expected the whole Norwood bench on their feet if that had. Loves to do it when his side's up and about.
So it looks like wholesale changes are starting to come for Norwood as well. Obviously the schedule isn't as taxing as the big boys who play over the pond. Well, it's over a couple of ponds actually for you, isn't it? Rivers, head fake, steps back. Contested 3 over Bimo. That's something, stick a feather in your hat for that one. That's not bad.
Brave as well. Knowing full well you can be humiliated if he gets a hand on it.
Tapped away. Illegally, say our officials. It's a big lead for Norwood, 6.5 minutes to go. Could be an interesting battle between Rivers and Wilson. It didn't get anything, looked pretty.
Into the breadbasket of Clausen.
Clausen kicks it out. Doesn't quite land for him, and Clausen has it knocked away, but Sturt will have it.
You can see Clausen doesn't quite have the match fitness that he has had in seasons past, but he just knows his way around the court. He knows where to be, and he's so like vicious. Oh, talking about vicious.
Oh, but it could turn into an assist. And it's going to be a travel. He landed with the ball, but he's back. Bimo is back.
And the turnover again. This is Sturt this time, taking it through.
He's done well. Change of direction.
Dan Nash getting those points.
15 points. 9 rebounds. 3 blocks, I think, now for Bimo.
You'd be happy with that, Audi. Let's see if he can push up to 20.
Bimo asked for it, didn't get it.
And Long misses his first shot of the night.
I tell you what, it was inches away. Oh, Long is taking a charge. Long take charge. Long not make basket. Yeah. That's a reference. Technical foul. Number 6.
And Tim Clausen. He looks. I mean, you can't be anything but bemused at this stage of the match when you get a tech.
Well, so a record for a number of technical fouls you've seen in a game?
Well, for a match of live stream, for sure. We've seen a handful, but never more than 1 in the match. 3 in this game. Can't see Legan around the place. Just craning my neck around.
No, right. I would have actually quite liked to have had a chat with him. We would have brought him on if we could have found him. It probably wasn't the best idea. He probably would have found himself in a little bit of trouble.
Would have had to tell him to stay away from saying a few things.
Yeah, we'll just talk about basketball.
But at the moment, he's occupying the shower, I imagine. Probably isn't allowed out till full time. Hopefully he's tuning into the live stream. Who knows?
Long. Whoa, he's off. He's cold. Get him off, coach. Rivers will look to drive. Then we'll kick it out to DeSantis. Then Rivers will get it back. Checks his feet.
Oh, he's told him for the travel. His pivot foot.
The toe tap.
Toad.
His pivot foot looked all right from where I am, but I don't have a whistle, so what I think doesn't really matter.
Well, he's still remonstrating a little bit.
Long fires it out. Got him in the air, then we'll go the floater, can't get there. Rivers will come back with the rebound, and we will start again.
Rawson, you think he's going to put it
Thought
up?
about it. Has to kick it out to DeSantis. DeSantis will drive, and that one will drop for Sturt. There's been too many that have bounced around on the rim and then ended up in Norwood hands. It's 4 minutes and 20, and Norwood just haven't been able to push on. Expected them to have hit the 100 by now. That one will bounce off the back iron.
They get it back. I think they heard you. They're going to push on now.
Long tries to kick it out. Didn't quite get there. DeSantis got a hand to it, but it will be a Norwood ball.
And there's the replay of DeSantis just showing his nous inside, just spinning around, getting the basket. And here's the guy you want on the ball.
Bimo. Shot clock running down. Doesn't quite get there. They will get another bite at it though. Russell to Bimo. Bimo fires it across, wide open, lots of time. Again, not there, and Sturt will come away.
And they had to claim it another offensive rebound there.
Could it be Rivers 3?
Rivers has really stood tall tonight.
Going to 20 points.
Oh, don't tempt him.
The run. They are on a run. Couldn't tell you what the run is, but they certainly are. Norwood just haven't been able to get anything to drop for a while now. Is Long going to be able to change that? Only from the stripe. Two shots for Long.
I don't know if you could make up a...
Stranger
things have happened. You know. Stranger things have happened. You
have to night for it, as Long misses the first one.
I was trying just not to talk about it.
Long will go for his second one. That one's good. 21 points the difference. 3 minutes 20 to go.
7 triples. Rivers, number 7.
So
numerology off the charts.
Legan has left us. BMO is on 1 tech. Rivers is on 1 tech. There is still a finish here.
Did BMO end up getting a tech?
I
don't believe he did. He wasn't happy, but I don't think he got the tech.
Oh no, it was there was another Sturt player who had the 3rd tech, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Griffin. I don't know how many Euro steps he wanted. It was proper James Harden stuff.
Yeah.
2 shots.
Didn't mind it though. Griffin looking quite fresh-faced in there. Worked his way through to the basket. Through some pretty ominous standing players. If you look them in the eyes, you wouldn't be too confident.
First one comes off the front iron, so still 21 points the difference. Second one is good. And we will see the introduction of Hunt.
Gets 3 minutes tonight.
He was the most entertaining player in the warm-up, I will give him that.
Well, he put up 23 in the reserves on Tuesday night. So that was the top scorer of the game. I'm surprised he didn't actually get a bit more of a run, to be honest.
BMO just big and strong underneath.
And if there's anyone the basket's kind to, it's BMO. Not sure what the call is there.
No, there was a foul on Rawson, but I'm not entirely sure what the foul was for. They're going to the line because it's bonus, not that that was a technical.
It might have been an unsportsmanlike because
there's no one stood around, so it might be a tech.
Perhaps just a flagrant.
Yeah, just the one. So so it looks like
another tech.
Looks like a technical foul. I think it is a technical foul.
Rivers coming off. Perhaps it was on him.
No, it was. I definitely saw the 15.
Okay, so it was on Rawson.
I do feel that both coaches are somewhat exasperated with the way tonight has been run, but that's what it is.
And Legan is too, but we can't see him. So.
Oh well, yeah. Hunt has it stolen away.
16 Candles has number 16.
BMO working hard.
Big
and
rebound.
Hunt will get his first rebound of the night. And he got hands on it. Don't hustle the hoof.
And that's good possession. And gets that down. He'll go to the line for 2 though.
So we are in bonus. So now we are seeing bonus ones, and Hoofner will go to the line.
As you see a timeout called.
2 minutes to go.
I haven't really seen too many stranger timeouts called.
Yeah, just prolonging the agony, really.
Yeah.
To be honest.
But I was speaking of numerology, and do
we have to?
The guy we thought looked like the actor from 16.
Oh, he's wearing number 16.
He's wearing number 16. I mean, the 7 triples from Rivers didn't pan out, but I'll take that one.
Dunks count double, I reckon, from now on. That'll do us for the rest. For this 2 minutes, dunks count double.
And I'm just coming off the phone now, and the Premier League has certified that. Basketball SA have approved of it.
Yeah, approved.
Thanks to Dave. Get excited. This last 2 minutes could be wild.
Well, we see the Norwood coach, and if I'm honest, so Norwood obviously 9-1 for the season, and Sturt probably likely to continue to be winless.
Drop to 0-10.
Yeah. But he's still going. The Norwood coach is still going. They still want to.
You could see it on his board. He's drawing up plays. He wants them to. Perhaps it's almost like an extended practice, but he just wants them to execute these plays. Obviously, a few particular players a little bit better. And why not use the time? I mean, it's a professional environment. It's the best place to practice anything. It's in the big time. So
I would say though, I think he would have, along with everybody else, expected them to hit the 3 digits a lot sooner than they probably will. And they are away there. I just keep looking at the scoreboard because the stadium scoreboard doesn't look like it's got 3 figures on it.
they make it happen. We'll find out.
We're about to find out what happens. I hope the universe doesn't implode. The Sturt will go again. Long range 3 was way off target. Hoofner will look to drive in, has it stripped away. And Sturt will come back the other way. Long 3 is good.
And that's quick from Nash there.
Yeah, Nash is going to start to see some minutes, and you would think from now on, you think he'll see this game out.
Well, we mentioned that he's put up points already this season. He put up 21 against West in round 4 when they kind of pushed him a little bit. And they're still there from Nash too. And they earn the foul. So Sturt
Okay, so can they keep him under 100? I mean that's a big ask with a minute and 22 to go. But yeah, I mean that's a win. I mean genuinely, what, they were 90, close to 90 points at the start of the 4th quarter, and they've really held them in this quarter.
Well, you'd argue that they've got 3 possessions to defend here, or maybe 2, but probably 3.
Oh, nice rebound and tip in.
And here's the first. How did Norwood bring it up? How do they manufacture this play? Thinking about the 3.
Going to go out to Steele, who's got the most loud socks that we've seen in a while. Then they will go corner 3, doesn't go. So there's possession 1.
And Goodall nabs the rebound. With 40 seconds left, they might.
Sturt will kick it out to Hunt, and it just came off the back iron. Oh, there's a foul.
It's crushing.
Oh, come on.
It's crushing.
Where's your sense of drama?
You played up the final narrative that could be played.
Come on. But the good thing is we'll get to see what happens now when we go to 100.
Well, Edward Steele.
If we go to 100, Steele. Oof.
Maybe they're in with a shot.
Blame the slippy ball.
And to be honest, if this misses, I don't know if Norwood will have another scoring possession.
There it is. Gone to oh no, there is. There's a sneaky. There's a sneaky one there.
Sneaky panel. I don't think they have anything for 200, but they've got something for 100.
So I think there's another foul. I think the Norwood coach is probably close to going and spending the rest of the time with Legan in the changing room.
He needs a bit of company. I mean, he's actually watching. You can see him behind us, to be honest.
Is there an ejection? After an ejection, is there a suspension?
I don't think so. I think it takes more than one. Perhaps.
Just sitting out the game is punishment enough?
Yeah.
Sturt have continued to play though. 3 from Nash.
And another trip to the line.
17.7 seconds to go. And Norwood are going to go to the line again. As you said, it's a difficult mountain to climb when, what were we, like 6 minutes into the second half when we were in the bonus?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it resets at 3/4 time, but again, by the 6-minute mark, they were in the bonus. And it's just, they're trying to defend, but you just got to be smarter with it, because it's all good if you're defending like with toughness, but it doesn't really mean anything if they get to 8 trips to the line towards the end of the game.
Hunt from 3. Wasn't there. Nash with a quick 3. Not there. And you'll think this will be the last one. You'll think they don't even have to dribble it over halfway to get to the end. And there is Legan on his phone. Shame his team has done it. His team has got the biscuits. He unfortunately left us very, very early. And you just see some distraught Sturt fans in the background. Tonight has not been a good night for them. First of all, the upset really in game one, with fourth place Norwood getting over the top of Sturt, and then in the men's game they just ran away with it.
Yeah, well, they haven't defended their court too well. And you never want to be 0-10 if you're the Sabres, because
especially when there isn't draft picks. You're not tanking for draft picks.
It's true. And just like the two numbers as well, with the 9 becoming a 10, it's just it just feels worse, to be honest.
There is more basketball coming up on Spacequake Sports this weekend. Fill us in.
Well, exactly. We're back again tomorrow, and we've got an enormous clash. The Eastern Mavericks, in their new stadium, St. Francis de Sales, they take on the Mount Gambier Pioneers. We get to see a taste of the Pioneers for the first time in the Premier League. Of course, this is their first year in the league this year, and they've got a ton of talent in both their women's and men's team. And we've got the likes of probably the two best women in the competition, in Amanda Frost and Carson Tyson-Thomas, taking on each other. That'll be a blockbuster. And then in the men's, you've got some massive imports going head-to-head. It'll just be an exciting encounter, and it's one worth watching because, to be honest, not too many people will be making the trip up to Mount Barker. It is quite a distance, but it'll be worth tuning into.
Ladies and gentlemen, it certainly will be worth tuning into. Thank you very much for having me tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you again tomorrow. Sleep well.
Yeah, get some good sleep.
And good night from Pasadena High School. I've been Dave Webb, joined by Benita Carboni.
Yeah, have a good night.
Thank you very much. Have a great night.